So here we are again. If anyone wants to join us from outside, because as I promised, we will now check in with Andrea Accumazzo in the main control room to see what's been happening in the meantime, whether he already has the first idea where that signal we're waiting for could be, or how long it could still take for us to get that first signal. So let us see if we are connected to the main control room now. I presume we should get a picture up here on screen. There we are. Okay, then I turn to this side. And can I see Andrea there? Very difficult through the glass panel.
Yeah.
Andrea,
I think I'm connected right now. Can you hear Monica?
Beg your pardon?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good.
Yes.
Hi. Good afternoon again to everybody.
Ah, yes, I can see you now as
good.
well.
Good. Excellent. Okay, good.
Oh, there you are. Oh, that's much better. Now we have a clear view of you. Andrea, tell us what's happening.
Well, we have prepared now all of our systems here on ground. Our software systems are in place. We have already talked to the colleagues in the States that will be activating their big antenna to monitor Rosetta first in California. And the antenna is being prepared right now. So in 20 minutes from now, a bit shorter than that, we will start tracking the portion of the sky where Rosetta is meant to be. We do not expect to see a signal at that point in time. It's only in 3 hours we expect to see a signal from Rosetta. But I can say that all our systems are ready to go.
Okay, but it could be also a bit earlier, couldn't it?
Well, there are extremely remote chances that the spacecraft wakes up earlier than planned. Technically, it's possible on board the spacecraft, but we have never seen anything like this on any of our spacecraft with similar onboard computers, similar clocks. So I rate this as it's negligible, but technically it can happen. There's nothing on the spacecraft preventing it completely.
It would be another world's first. Andrea, before I let you go, because I'm sure you're eager to get back to your instruments and keep an eye on that possible signal somewhere out there, your father has not only built this model that we see there in front of you, it's also his birthday today, isn't it?
That's correct. That's a big surprise indeed.
Yeah, but isn't that great to coincide with the big wake-up event? That's a great birthday present. Well, wish him a happy birthday from us, Andrea.
Thanks a lot. I want to mention that we also have a flight control team member that has birthday today, Zarmel. She will come on shift later on, so it's a good coincidence for both.
Okay. Well, Andrea, we'll be checking in with you again at 4:45 for the latest. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye. Talk to you later.
Okay, bye. Right, now you know the latest, and in about 10 minutes we will have 3 scientists here on stage again to talk about comets and why we chase them. So if you're interested in that or want to ask questions yourself, then stick around. Okay, see you in a bit. Thank you very much for sticking around. Welcome back. And as you see, we're ready for our next session now with 3 experts. If you have your hands free, then please put them together to give them a warm welcome. Worked wonders for those before. Thank you. So, who do we have here? Right next to me is Dr. Gerhard Drolshagen. He's the Space Situation Awareness Program Manager at ESA. Then next to him is Dr. Norbert Peiler. He is the Program Manager for Space Science Missions at Airbus Defence and Space, former known as Astrium, now Airbus Defence and Space. And to his right is Dr. Gerhard Schwem. Up until very recently, he was the Rosetta mission manager at ESA, and he only just retired, but he's still very much part of the mission, and he's certainly here to give his advice and to consult everyone, which is great. And I would like to start with you for that very reason, Gerhard. There are 2 Gerhards, so I will always look you deep in the eyes so you know which Gerhard I'm talking to. Gerhard, in this session we want to focus on Rosetta, comets, and asteroids. Let's stick with comets first of all. Obviously, we heard it this morning already. There seems to be this huge fascination surrounding comets. Mankind has always been wondering what these heavenly bodies could be. Are they a threat? Are they a sign from God? Is it some superpower? And despite all the science that we have now, and we can explain what these things are, the fascination hasn't really died. How come?
That is really clear that the fascination has not died, and we have seen that just before Christmas when Ison was to be seen by naked eye. Everybody was fascinating. What if this comet will live up to the expectation to be a very bright comet? It didn't, and it came close to the sun and then disappeared, was disrupted, but everybody was really, so to say, misery with the poor comet, but it showed how fascinating these objects are. It also showed that with Ison there were a lot of predictions, and it was still open till the end what would happen. It shows that it's very important to study a comet from close by. But as you said, comets in the history of mankind were very important because they were seen as signs that you get a new king, or that a war is there, or diseases and all these things. And I think we show here one of the images that is from 1910, when Halley came close to the Earth, that shows that 100 years ago, this threat was still felt with people. So we have progressed in our understanding, but still comets are a mystery to us, and scientifically they are so fascinating, and we have to study them.
So the Rosetta must be a dream come true for you.
For me, Rosetta is a dream come true scientifically, and I also, there's also comets. One of my pet talks is to comets and the influence on the quality of wine, because that was also something. So comets are used for everything, and for all. And what I show here, and I think that's very important, that comets are, so to say, bringing to us the most primitive material that we can study with our current day technologies. Comets are, so to say, the messengers that bring material that we had at the beginning of the evolution of the planetary system. That's in the comets that we want to study, and that gives the big bridge to today.
Some great pictures there, Norbert. You can't wait for your question. You want to say something straight away. Off you go.
Just try to summarize what Gerhard said, namely, I would call the comets the guiding fossils for our planetary system.
That's interesting, but fossils
and therefore,
sounds very dead. Then why don't I go straight to you? Because I also know that you like another quote, which is not from you, but you used it in one of the talks we had beforehand, and there you said that comets are like cats. They have tails, and they do what they want. That's very different from a fossil.
Okay, that's a living example of a comet which could not forecast it, and it was Gerhard who mentioned what happened with Ison. He was supposed to be the comet of the century, but it vanished during the perihelion at the sun, and therefore still I insist on the character of a comet as guiding fossils for our planetary system, and that's the reason why comets are so interesting for space historians.
But not only for space historians, also for someone like the Gerhard next to me, who actually has not been involved with Rosetta, but as a SSA project manager, you obviously keep an eye on whatever is out there and could affect the Earth. So you did keep a keen eye on this mission as well. What significance does Rosetta, and especially the comet it's watching, have for you then?
Well, we look at a different aspect from the pure science of these objects, and that is what happens if they come very close or too close to Earth. So we call these near-Earth objects if they can approach Earth up to 45 million kilometers. And in the Space Situational Awareness program, we look at the risk from space weather, from these near-Earth objects, and also from orbiting satellites and space debris. And so we try to find out what is the risk, because we know...
What is the risk? That is a very good question. Everyone here probably has seen the film Armageddon with Bruce Willis. So imagining one of these comets, let's say CG 67P, whichever name you prefer for the comet that we're looking at right now, decides to actually pay Earth a visit before it heads all the way to the sun. What is that? How likely is such a scenario?
Correct. First of all, one has to learn about those objects. That's also why we are very much interested in Rosetta and the results it will give us from comets. If you look at it from a risk point of view, asteroids are more dangerous than comets. Asteroids come from the asteroid